Okay. So, hello everyone. I'm Slim Othman, the event manager of the Architect Hub Qatar. I hope you are fine and in the best of health. We are happy to have you all on board today for our online hub talk entitled Creativity in Value Engineering. The presentation will be by engineer AbdulAziz Al-Yousefi. The talk will be moderated by architect Abdullah Abdul Bakr. Architect Abdullah is an architect, urban planner as well. He's a member of our advisory board in Architect Hub Qatar. So before starting, let me introduce the Architect Hub Qatar. Architect Hub Qatar is a non-profit architectural association registered in Qatar under the QFC, Qatar Financial Center Authority. Our hub talks are events to harness the diverse and intellectual wisdom of the crowd, keeping architects connected to peers and to wider markets, local and global. So before starting, let me just remind you that our session will be recorded. We will be live streaming on Facebook as well. Please abide by the simple rules. All the attendees should be on mute during the presentation. And after that, we'll open the floor for engagement with you all. Just raise your hands or send your message in the chat and we'll take care of it. Thanks again for attending, and I'm sure you will enjoy the talk. Architect Abdullah, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you everybody for attending. Today is our lecturer, AbdulAziz Al-Yousefi. He's a pioneer in value engineering and the owner of the first office in the Arab world and a lifetime member of SAVE International. He done a lot of projects in Qatar. One of his projects is the stadium in the education city. Please welcome AbdulAziz Al-Yousefi, and hopefully we'll have one of his good lectures. Thank you. Please.
Thank you very much. First of all, do all you hear me okay?
Yes.
Does it sound okay?
Yes.
Perfect.
So,
yes, that's perfect.
Okay, creativity in value engineering. I call the presentation, I call it total value management, TVM for short. What the agenda is going to be as follow. I'm going to talk about the concept of value engineering, why value engineering, reason for unnecessary cost, VE workshop, job plan, the life cycle value management, and I'm going to go through some examples. As I always say, what I'm going to show you today is a good taste of a spoon of honey. Okay, just one spoon. If you want to get the full jar, welcome to one of the value engineering workshops, okay? So I hope you'll like the taste. Now, first of all, before some of you maybe have seen this presentation, but I brought this information for a reason. Now, the project started 8 million, but ended up with 120 million. It took 20 years rather than the scheduled 4 years. The annual revenue cover only 10% of the operation and maintenance, and it does not comply with safety standards and many standards. You probably say that this project is a failed project, okay? But maybe some of you know about this project, but I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to tell you what is this project. Now, first of all, value engineering, we we cover both subject value, product, process, and services. Projects could be like goods, project, roads, what have you. The process and the services, project management, cost estimating, standard specifications, and we've done value engineering in all. We call this hard VE, and these two, we call them soft VE, okay? And value engineering, we customize quality and optimize resources, and we cover three main subjects, which is technical, operational, and financial. For those Arabic speakers, we call it al-handasa al-qimiyya, bikasr al-qaf, value engineering. Now, this one, I brought it for a reason, this one here. The reason is, you know, we always say we need experts to do studies, but as I said, this is the Dunning-Kruger effect. First of all, when a person just graduated, he's 100% confidence. He knows everything. After 10 to maybe 15 years, the confidence gets low, but then he regained the confidence by 70%. But it will not ever be any engineer to get the confidence that he felt when he just graduated. Those, they bring ideas, those they bring alternatives, but the solutions are from the experts. This person, when he first graduated, he said, I know everything. But then after some experience, he said, maybe not. And then he found out it's hard to understand. And then it started to make sense. But then they said there is more to it than that. The reason I brought this is I've noticed in many value engineering, the beautiful, good ideas that we adopted always become from people who do not have experience. But they're just ideas, but we need alternative and solutions. Now, communicate, any engineer, any engineer, what's that? I just heard the message. Anyway, any engineer, you need communication skills, high tech, and master English, all these. And I found out that the communication skills in value engineering, since most of our work, not most, all of our work is teamwork. So we need the communication skills. Now, first of all, I'd like to tell you some of the accomplishments of value engineering in the Gulf area. More than 20,000 studies have been done. More than 200,000 have participated. More than 300 studies per year. Saved more than $70 billion. The saving range from 5 to 30%, and then the rate of return 1 to 100, meaning for every dollar, every real you spend on value engineering, you get $100 or real in saving. And it's mandatory in US, in Japan, and Saudi Arabia, and some of the Gulf countries, most of Europe, but it's becoming more mandatory all over the world. Now, the value engineering always start in 3 stages, which I'm going to elaborate on later on. The pre-workshop, then after the workshop, we do the post-study, but the value engineering process starts with information, then function analysis, creativity, then evaluation, development, and presentation. As I said in the beginning, I'm going to talk about what is value engineering, not how we do it. But you know, I'm just going to give you a flavor or some of what we do. Now, so in the information, we talk about costs, data, function analysis. There are, you know, basic function, secondary function, required secondary. Then we go to creativity, then evaluate, then we develop, and then we make a presentation. Value engineering started in the US. I'm just going to give you some of the milestones in value engineering. Started in 1947. It was adopted by government of in the US, 1953. The birth of SAVE International, 1958. Certification started in 73. And in the Gulf area, value engineering started in 1992. Now there is a Gulf chapter. We have 2 members of the Gulf chapter. I'm the president of the Gulf chapter, and AbdulAziz is the vice president in Qatar. Now, whether it's value engineering, value analysis, value management, it doesn't make a difference. I'd like to call it value management. But why we do value engineering? There are so many ways to waste money, time, and effort. It seems to me whenever we do a value engineering study that people try to waste money, time, and effort on purpose. So the result of poor value, and I'm just going to ask you, how many projects do you know that have some of these? Shortage of time, misleading information, ambiguous goals and objectives, using unsuitable standards, hasty decisions, lack of ideas, lack of fund, resistant change. You know, I could give you, you know, minimum 20 issues. So I'm going to say to you, of any project, 5 or 6 exists of these, then you do need to do a teamwork and you do need to do value engineering. Uh, Many times we do not have technical problems. Technical problems, they are solved by specification, they are solved by standards, but most of the time it's what we have is management problems. If you trace any problem, if you trace any project, you'll find out that the problem is due to lack of coordination, lack of information, lack of experience. So what we are lacking in many of the projects is management issues. And the problem, management problem do, you know, waste money. Now, what is value? When you say everybody, when you hear value engineering, you say value is money. Well, value, it's not money and it is not price, but what we mean by value when we say what's the value of money, or we say when you hear corporate vision, mission, goals, objectives, and values, these are the values we're talking about. Or we talk about this is better value than this. So and value, and so what is value? In my opinion, now you'll see many newspapers. You'll see that every time they say a project and they say بقيمة, يعني in value 120 million. You know, those are all you know, before or after the number they say value. So that made people say that value is money, but actually value is the benefits and usefulness. When I say this is better value than the other, what I'm saying is this is more beneficial and more useful than the others. It doesn't mean more expensive. Okay, you hear so many of these buzzwords nowadays: VE, TKM, Kaizen, Six Sigma. You know, why is that? You know, every now and then we have a new buzzwords. You know, I reached the conclusion that they are almost all the same. They just differ by when and how to apply it, but they are all after improving values. Do you know that 70 to 80% of the world experts and qualities are engineers, not in management? And so that's why we call it value engineering. The very short definition of value engineering is how to get what you want and beneficial to you in a creative manner. Of course, you know, it has a job plan, which I'm going to also detail a little bit about and talk about it. But we cover the most important: function, quality, and cost. And so these are the cornerstones of values: is function, efficiency, fair cost, and customized quality. Function is the essence, the most important about value engineering is function. What is the intended purpose of the items? We call it needs. I'm going to elaborate a little bit later on. And quality is, you know, just like saying, you know, the car. What's a function of a car? The function of a car is to transport people from one point to another, or that's the function, is to move people. But then the quality is you know, the color, the features, the other feature that people differ by like or don't like, but they all agree that the basic function of a car is to move people. So that is in value engineering what we are after. We are after function analysis. And I'm going to give you some examples. So quality, and then, you know, for example, when we go to coffees and we go to restaurants, do we just want to go and fill our stomach? Are we hungry? Actually, we look for others. It's not just food. We look for services, experience, entertainment. In my office, next to my office, there is a coffee shop. Most of my meetings are in the coffee shop, not in my office. So that is another purpose of it. So to explain the difference and the relationship between function and quality and customer, well, function is this gate that if it is closed, خلاص, nobody enter. The quality are so many issues. You could go here or there or there. It's up to you. And here's a customer. So what we say is function. If the function is not done, forget about quality, forget about other issues. As I said, the car, the function is to transport you from one place to another. But then comes, you talk about quality. Quality, for example, it doesn't have to be the best, the most advanced. This paper cup is the best quality for that particular situation. So we say quality, the definition is fit for use. So the paper cup is the best. Somebody has a voice. Would you please mute your mobile or video or computer? Now, fit for use. For example, this paper cup is the best quality. It's much better than crystal glasses or you know, those gold-plated glasses in that particular purpose. Although you only use it once and it doesn't last long, but yet it is the best quality for that situation. So quality is fit for purpose or fit for use. And value engineering will go through function. And in many studies, they go from A and they change it a little bit and to B. They just change it, they modify it a little bit. But in value engineering, we go for the basic function and then we create solution where it could be B, C, or D. For example, the function of the air conditioning is control temperature. So the control temperature, you could do it by, say, split or package, or we could do it by something totally different, ventilation and insulation. And we've done that in some of the projects in cool areas. So value, what is cost, time, budget? What does it mean in value engineering? Cost in value engineering is the life cycle cost, and time and budget. This is normally set by the client, and we try to modify them and to fix them. But the most important is the cost. The function is the most important. Then we balance it with quality and cost. So value engineering is balancing between quality and cost, assuming that you've accomplished the function. So what happens if the quality sides get heavier, better, more improvement? What will happen to it? Well, the cost becomes less. It doesn't become more, it becomes less. In value engineering, whenever we talk about cost, we talk about life cycle cost. So when quality sides get heavier, the cost becomes lighter, it becomes less. So, rather than cost in the project, we talk about resources. Resources are money, people, material, time, efforts, and many things. Okay, who's that? I hear something that, anyway. We talk about function, quality, and cost. What is this that I see in the screen? Anyway, fine, hopefully it will change. And
Engineer, because you are the co-host, so any notification will get you this as well.
huh?
Because you are the co-host, so any notification will come to you. This is why.
This is not from me. This is from somebody else. I don't know what. So anyway,
From
fine. Value is, to explain it, is the lowest cost that reliably accomplish a function. And we have an equation where value is function plus quality divided by cost. How to get these numbers, we normally talk about it in a 3 to 5 day workshop, but I'm just going to tell you that value engineering is a systematic effort, goes to function, quality, and cost. And so when we say the pillars of value are function, cost, and quality. Now, but which is the most important? I would say function is the most important. So when you look at it, really, it's actually value. The equation is not F plus Q, it's not Q, it's not on the left. Value engineering is quality over cost, provided that you accomplish the function. So rather than this setup or this graph that represent a value, which is cost, function, quality, I believe it is like this. The foundation is function, and value engineering balances between cost and quality. So rather than which is on the left, we go onto the right. So what we always face as a problem is of how do we quantify the quality? Well, we have a solution in value engineering. We call it QBS, quality-based selection. Now, I'm not going to explain how do we do it. Normally, we spend 2 or 3 hours in a workshop of how to reach this, but all I'm asking you is to trust me and believe me that we do. First of all, we've got 3 options, and the options we've got which is the best option. We go to the quality criteria, and then we give weight to each criteria, and then we determine the quality. So can you quantify the quality? Yes, we do. Here is the quality of the carpet, here's the quality of the ceramic, and the quality. So we can quantify the quality. Then we divide, since we say value engineering, Q over C, we divide quality by cost. So notice in here, the option carpet, for example, it gives you 5.48 quality point for every real. So this becomes our choice. So that's how we measure quality and value engineering. Same examples when we choose laptop, for example, you know, if you cannot measure it, you cannot improve it. So that's what we do in value engineering. We have to find ways of how to measure quality and how to estimate cost and balance quality with cost. So here is an example for laptop. Here is an example for, another laptop. So notice this line here is give you how many quality points for every real or every dollar that you spend, okay? So regarding the project that I asked you earlier, maybe some of you know, some of you don't know, but the project started with 8 million, it ended up 120. It took 20 years, and the annual revenue is only 10% of the cost of operation and maintenance, and doesn't comply. Do you believe that this is the project is the opera, Sydney Opera? You know, did it achieve a goal? Yes, it did. It became a monument. With all these problems that we faced, but the value is much better than other projects. I'm just giving you an example that the money is not everything. We talk about quality and function, that's the most important. Now, the definition of value engineering, we cover technical, operational, and financial. And I'm not going to read the definitions. Once you receive the presentation, you read it. But this is my definition. It is an organized team effort aimed at analyzing function and quality of the project The project could be good, service, or process in order to generate cost-effective alternative that meet customer requirements. Now, this is, good talk, but how do you prove it? By the value engineering job plan. Here is PMI. They define their project. So I'm going to make it simple for you is actually we want to customize quality and optimize cost. And not always improve quality, not always reducing cost. So here is where we do, the equation of quality over cost, provided that you do the function. So we took care of effectiveness through function, and we talk about efficiency through quality and cost. And cost in value engineering, we mean life cycle costing. So this is the initial cost. But what many people don't see, the biggest cost is the single cost, or the annual cost, say the replacement cost. This is, we call it running cost. I'll give you an example. Here is the cost of the project. What we normally see is this: capital cost, site cost, fees, and others. But what we normally don't see is the below the C, the maintenance cost, furnishing costs, operating, there are so many. And the problem is, even if we see them, we have no way, or we don't have database to estimate them. So here is the hidden costs. There are so many. So for example, here is a 300-bed hospital. It's cost 365 million. That 365 million make only 8% of the total life cycle cost that the owner is going to pay for the next 25 years. So if we take the project 365, even if we save 100 million real, all what we have done is we reduce that 8 to 6.5%. What about the rest of the cost? The operation and maintenance, the replacement, and this is the thing that's not obvious to all. So here is normally when we say we talk about who influences cost. Who influences cost in value engineering? Are they the technical people or manager or senior manager or the people at the top? Definitely not the people at the top, okay? These are the decision makers, senior managers. The top are, we call them a decision taker after it's been analyzed. We want, that is the most important, is to talk with the managers and technical people. The decision maker, the people at the top, they come after 85% of the production line and make a decision. The people who started with a project and went through that 80% production time are the people who actually make decision. So when we talk about technical life cycle, there is technical life, real life, and economical life, and so on. Value engineering is done in 3 stages. It is in a pre-study, VE workshop, and post-study. And the VE workshop, so here is it. By the way, I have details which I don't want to talk about, but it's for you to see once you see the presentation. And the one in the middle here, the VE workshop, it goes through 6 phases: information, function analysis, creativity, evaluation, development, and presentation. Okay, and this is, and we go through something, we call it quality model. This is the first things we do in value engineering. We would like to see what is the quality. For example, this is the project. Regardless of what's that project, we talk about the headings of this project. These are the headings, and we go through the drawing and we see are we satisfied with the design that has already been done? We give it from 0 to 10. For example, we're not happy with the infrastructure. From 0 to 10, we give it 5. And production loss and this item. So we start giving numbers out of 10, and then we draw the line. This is, we call it quality profile. So now you've noticed that there is a difference between the desired, which is
مهندس عزيز صوت قطع عندك. صوت.
ريان الصوت مقطوع عندك يا ابو ريان.
maybe the internet network.
ريان
سواه الحين كويس؟
Yes. Yes. Now
I hope it's okay.
Now it's okay. Yes.
Okay now?
Yes. Can you
okay.
Repeat the last.
Okay now, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know. Somebody went in there and did something. Anyway, when we talk about the cost, normally 20% of the items make 80% of the cost. So we normally go for that 20% of the items. For example, I'll give you an example here. There are so many items. This is an office building. So if we go through 1, 2, 3, all these top 4 items, they make almost 70 to 60% of the cost. So we don't talk about the detail. We talk about the top 20% of the items. And so why value engineering? As I said, we talked about these, the influentials, and we ask them questions. Where do you spend your time? Those are the decision maker. Those are the decision maker. This 8 hours of work, what do you spend it? That's what they said. They said mostly they do it on quality. Well, once we follow them, there is a way we follow them. We found out that what they thought it is, almost 60% on quality, it ended up only 5%. Their biggest concern is cost, and that is a misconception of quality. And so these are the reason for unnecessary cost becomes from this is the Ishikawa method, or the cause and effect diagram. It comes either from time, from method, environment, organization, people, or material. And so these are the reason I showed you at the beginning of the presentation. In one session, we've accumulated almost more than 40 reasons for unnecessary cost. Most of the costs are not technical. They are all management. So this is the top reason for access costs and poor quality. And I would say it's in Saudi Arabia, but almost on all the Gulf areas. No, for example, no national specs. Either British or American or Japanese, but we don't have something of our own. Lack of information, exaggerated design basis. I'm sure that some of you, when they say these top reasons, they would say, yes, 5 or 6 of these reasons exist in your project, it is necessary for you to do value engineering. I'm going to give you an example. There are 3 examples, but this is a project. There is a housing and gas plant. The distance between them is 6 kilometers. We ask why 6 kilometers. They say this is based on a safety report, that's 6 kilometers. I've always learned in doing studies, I would say, show it to me. Don't just say verbally. So when we looked at the safety report, we found out that 6 to 0.5 kilometers is okay. So 0.5, why make it 6 kilometers? 6 kilometers, you are going to have more cable, more electrical, more plumbing, more sewage, everything is more. So there are 26 factors to consider. So once we reduce the distance to 2.5, we found out 2.5 is 5 times as much as the safety, although the project was 6 kilometers. So the saving was almost 4.5 million. By the way, I'm going through this fast, but you could catch me up later on to explain more. Okay, so this is value engineering. We go through information, then we go through function analysis, then creativity, then we go through evaluation, and those in blue are the techniques and method that we do, development, and then we go to presentation, and then reporting, okay? So function analysis is, we don't change things from A to A prime, or just a little bit. We actually change something totally different. As I said, for example, the air conditioning. The purpose is control temperature. No, so that is A. B is give me another solution that is different than the AC system. So for example, it could be ventilation, it could be water cooled, it could be other. So value engineering is done by team. And the team is made of the user, the specialists, the designers, and we try to make the size of the team 5 to takriban 9 people. And so we do this analysis. This is the quality model. This is the function analysis, which I don't want to talk about it now because it is a bit complicated. And then cost. So these are the these are the reason. These are the idea starters. Where is the quality? Where is the high cost? And what is the basic function that we want to go through? This is something we do it ahead of time, and then we start generating ideas based on this system and try to improve quality, reduce cost, and accomplish the functions. So this is the evaluation method. It's different. So we use the ABCD method, which is A is high benefits and easy to implement. B is high benefit but hard to implement. C is general comment, and D are deleted. These are the way to evaluate. So we evaluate it based on the ABCD method. Then ideas are okay. It's a simple statement or a simple 7, 9 words, but we need to go and talk about it in detail. We talk about the original design, the proposed design, the advantage, disadvantage, justification, and cost. So we have a sheet, one sheet for each ideas, and then that will compose the report. Now, I know that some of you are going to ask, what is the best time to do value engineering? And very short, before design, Second best is 30% of design. Beyond 30%, it is very hard to change. Based on experience, once there is a printed picture in people's head, it's very hard to change. So, so these are the time, more requirements and more accuracy, but there are more constraints of ideas. So this is what we call it, the value engineering. Look at this. First of all, any idea, the implementation is easy at the beginning, but it becomes more difficult with time. The saving is high, and then it is reduced with time. And the acceptance level is high at the beginning, and it becomes less and less with time. So the best time is to do value engineering during the planning before you contract with a designer. Second best is before 30% of design, and then we do something design review. And I know that some of you might have another opinion, but I'm talking about not the ideal, I'm talking about the possible and the realistic. If you do the study beyond 30%, I would assume many of the proposals are not going to be implemented. The reason is they're going to be resistance from everybody, from the designer, the project manager, even sometimes the owner. So that's when we talk about it. And this is also done in operation and maintenance, and it is value engineering also done in construction, but I always prefer that doing value engineering during design only. So take it as a rule of thumb. If you do the study at 90% of design, 10% of the proposals, the ideas are going to be implemented. So the earlier, the better. So if you do the study before design, at 0 stage of design, you have a good chance of implementing 100% of the ideas. And I always rely on, see, the success of value engineering. It depends on the right facilitator, the right information, the right team, and the right timing. So the facilitator, the information, the team, and the timing. These are the most important reason and the ingredients of having a successful value engineering. And then value management, how to implement. Doing a good VE study, doing a fantastic value engineering study is not enough. If you don't implement the proposal that you come up with, then you've almost done nothing. So you could do all this beautiful stuff, but if you don't do the next step, the implementation, then all your work is waste. So talking about management, I'm just going to differentiate between VE versus other. VE make change on purpose rather than let it happen. Design value engineering is not design or technical review. Technical review, there is a checklist, and you just look at the design and say, okay, check, check, check. But in value engineering, we go to that checklist and that technical review checklist and see whether it is correct or not. There is a difference between design review and value engineering. I'll let you read it later on once you receive the presentation. Value engineering is not cost reduction. It's not cost reduction. It might degrade quality and lose some functions. In value engineering, we don't. Visibility study, it is done normally very early stages, but in value engineering, we do it after the visibility study. The visibility tells you whether it is financially feasible or not. But in value engineering, we go for, is it technically feasible, is it operationally feasible, and others. So this is the end of the presentation. And as I said, the title of the presentation is Total Value Management. And here's a definition of total value management, if you like it. And that's it. Thank you very much. I hope that we did it in within 45 minutes. And now we open questions and answers. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Burayan. Questions?
Yes. Go ahead. You see, having questions is good, but not having questions is also good.
Yeah,
It's either I cover the subject or I lose everybody. So it's one of these two situations.
I think Abdullah can check the chat. There is a question from Umayya.
Huh?
There is a question in the chat. It says, in a typical architecture design project, how is value engineering integrated? As a person, a value engineering, or should all the team be trained in value engineering?
Okay, as I said, you know, we are actually friends of architects. Value engineering are friends of architects. Value engineering, we do it before the architect get involved. Once we have a scope of work of the project, that's where we come in. That's where we do it. So we've noticed that if we do the study before design, during the development of scope of work, we found out there is a great, assistance and enthusiasm by the architect. But if we go and do the study at later designs, say 30 or 40%, 50%, well, most of the designers see it as we are criticizing his design. And in human nature, people resist that. So they see it as you are degrading my design. But actually, I wrote a paper talking about how to integrate VE within the design process. Very simply, before design, before you contract with the designer, and during the 30% of design. That's how you win. That's how you get the architect on your side. Go ahead. Do you hear me?
Yes. We still have many questions in the chat. What's the role of the supplier and vendor when it comes to value engineering? How can they help and be more effective?
I don't hear the question. Supplier?
What is the role of the supplier and the vendor?
Well, to us, so the contractor is a supplier, and normally we go into the value, we talk about the design. We talk about the design. We don't talk about after the fact, after the project is done, or after the material is being used. So the supplier, they do help us in selecting material, but before selecting material, we normally talk about the system, which is the best options. And then you talk about all the materials and all the suppliers and all that. That's a very short answer to you. Next.
There is a question also saying, how can you do value engineering before the design exists? Is it the architect who decides the elements of the design?
Okay, this is a very fundamental question. You see, to us, it is enough that the scope of work is defined, only the scope of work. Now, how does the architect start drawing is, well, he go into the scope and then try to explain it, try to implement it. In value engineering, we go to the scope of work and they see the merit of it. We look at the function that is need to be done and look at and see similar project that has been done in the past. So the best time to do value engineering is before you go and approve the design or even approve the concept. And value engineering, and we do a study now in management and process management. For example, how to hire people, how to improve quality, how to improve project management procedures. All these, there is no design, there is only text. So we go to the text and we'll go to the subject and see the function and try to improve the quality and then talk about the cost. Next.
Your voice are not heard, Salim.
Huh?
Salim,
Your voice is...
Yes. Are there any codes or common practice for value engineering process?
I can't hear you. I can't hear you, man. There is echo or there is a... Yeah.
Okay, now it's okay?
Yeah, it's okay now.
Yes. Are there any codes or common practice for value engineering processes?
Process?
Yes. It's that question from Rakan al-Notaifi.
If I understand the question correctly, the value engineering, yes, there is a process. It is structured by SAFE International, and it's a systematic effort. As I explained to you, it starts with the pre-study and then post-study and then information, function analysis, creativity, evaluation, development, and presentation. And there are so many texts and there are so many procedures and so many guidelines have been written for that. If I understand your question correctly, yes, it is done. And there are structured methodology. It is published and distributed by SABE International. There
Okay,
we go. Start
yes.
doing some remarks.
Okay, we have Dr. Luay Sabit asking, how frequent do you recommend organizing value engineering workshops and when? And will value engineering workshop result in redesign work?
Okay, I see so many people, they do value engineering several times. And in my opinion, you only need to do two studies, two value engineering study. One before design, and the second one is before you finalize 30% of design, meaning before you go into details. Beyond that, let other people do their work. Let other improve design other than just value engineering. So I see people, they do it at 30%, 60%, 90%. This is just overdoing it. And this is just taking the credit from others. So I do believe that there is only two studies needed for value engineering, but there may be some project where they talk about, for example, furniture, which is normally done at 70% of design. We do a value engineering specifically for a specific item. Yes, we do that.
Yes, another question. Is there a way to standardize a value engineering option in one book? So it will save time and to be more easy to value engineering, especially when they are doing assessment.
Yeah, Salim, wallahi, ya akhi, I can't hear your question.
Okay.
I would like to say yes, but
Okay.
yeah.
Is there a way to
It's
standardize?
breaking, it's breaking.
Breaking. You can.
To
Okay.
send,
You
to
can
send.
read. Okay. Can you read the question in the chat from Hussam Isa?
Well,
Okay, is there a way to standardize value engineering options in one book so it saves time and be more easy to value engineering, especially when they are doing assessment?
well, value engineering, it is done by teamwork. Value engineering is not design review. It is not design review where somebody would go and look at and check this and check that. Value engineering is creative thinking based on function analysis. So you need to have all disciplines involved in the project meet together, say 5, 7, 6 hours a day for 3 to 5 days. Then I could call it value engineering. Doing value engineering online for nowadays with the coronavirus, or doing courses online. We tried it, it didn't work. You need to have a human interaction and give and take and discussion. You know, it's just impossible to go and generate ideas to give a person to do a value engineering. It is systematic team effort made in a group. Okay. I try to see the chat, but
Normally,
Salim, whoever have a question, let him ask directly
yes,
instead
yeah,
of writing it.
Why not ask directly? It's better.
Yeah, ask directly, please. Whoever have a question, please ask directly, so we can hear the voice.
Unmute everybody. Unmute them and let them ask questions. I see that there are 20 people participated. Since you muted them, so nobody can talk.
There were 29 and They were 29, and most of them left after the end of the lecture.
Oh, okay.
So 22 is still with us.
Slim, can I ask my question?
Yes, please.
Yes, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum, Mr. Aziz.
Yeah, alaikum assalam. How are you?
Good,
Go ahead.
alhamdulillah. I hope my voice is clear.
Yeah, it's clear. Go ahead.
This
Also, the sound of your kid is clear too.
just remember.
Yeah, go ahead.
So
What is
actually,
your
I just
question?
typed in. The question is actually this was a very marvelous presentation, and it was very precise and very quick. And really, this is one of the topics I thought would be boring, but your presentation really made it sound very interesting. So that's something I must say.
Thank you very much.
And,
Your question.
Yeah, this is the question, that how could someone take this value engineering as an option to specialize into, or to take it up further as a profession or a specialization?
Okay, value engineering, just like any other profession, first of all, it is taught in colleges, and there are courses, value engineering, in many universities in the Gulf. I know that Qatar, some Qatar Academy, they do offer the course. And then there are in Kuwait, in Emirates, in Saudi Arabia, and also in Egypt, and all over the world. This is one thing. Second, it is just like PMI, you know, where you have PMP, and you know, it is done by courses, and there are annual seminars, and there are certifications in value engineering, which is VMA and CVS, and then you apply for a test, and there are fees. So it is a structured methodology, just like any other profession, that there are certification, education, and courses, and there are level of courses, all that. And it is already, I've been teaching this in some universities, and also other universities in other worlds. So it is taught already. Yes.
We have it in Qatar University as a master degree and PhD, and we have one of the students with us, one of the master students.
Good.
Attending this lecture.
That's good to hear. Okay, yeah, I know that there are a person, I always correspond with him in Qatar in some university where he got some material, and his master was in value engineering. So it is, I know that there are so many studies, and there's so many dissertations and master theses done in value engineering in many Arab countries, and Far East, and Europe, and States. So it is a structured methodology. Once, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send a presentation to Uthman, and please put it in a shared file or whatever you do, and let everybody have it. Along with it, I'm going to send you my book, which is both in English and Arabic, so where you can actually read it. If you go to the internet and just say value engineering, there are thousands and thousands of links where you can get it. Okay? Here's my book, which I like to call the subject value management, because we don't engineer value. Engineer means technical, but actually we manage values. Technical, operational, and financial, and lots of things. So I'd like to call the subject value management. Okay.
I think that's should be. Thanks a lot for that. We'll share that on our newsletter, inshallah. Look, we'll share the presentation, and
Okay.
we'll send the link on email for those who attend with us.
Yeah, I'm going to send, after I finish, I'm going to send you the presentation both in a PowerPoint and in PDF, so people could read it both. And I'm going to send you a copy of my book. And there are links also later on I could send you within the group, the WhatsApp. We do have some magazines. We call it value engineering, and there are some articles made from Qatar, Qatar Foundation, and there are studies that's been done. So I'll send it to you, Uthman, and then it's up to you how to send it. Okay?
Okay, thank you so much. I think we are running out of time. There is any question before we close?
Yes, تفضل عبد الله.
حد ثاني بيسأل. Go ahead. Ask your question.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum.
وعليكم السلام.
Just here, I have a question regarding the requirement for the value engineering company which is supposed to do this work, because we understand that they should have a knowledge and experience maybe wider than the designer themselves, so at least they can understand what are the aspects, the value engineering items need to be saved in terms of the capital cost and operation. So these people should be high level compared to the designers or the consultants doing the work.
The question is clear. Look, in value engineering, the way it is done, it's a little bit different than others. All you need is a facilitator or somebody who knows about value engineering, and he should have a certificate called Certified Value Specialist. That's all you need. But it would help if others do have knowledge about value engineering. But the value engineering team is made of the designer, the client, and other specialists. So value engineering is not magic. It is done by the people involved in the project. It is just enough that it is led by a certified value specialist, and the ideas and the solutions is generated by the value engineering team. Now, just another issue which I would like to point it out. It's not really right to ask a designer to do value engineering to his work. Normally, value engineering is done by independent party hired by the owner. So the designer will give you a view, and the value engineering give you another view. So value engineering is not done by the same people who designed the project. Otherwise, there will not going to be any changes. It is going to be the same. So
and regarding their fees, doctor, regarding their fees, they're supposed to be percentage of saving, so at least they have incentive to do significant value engineering.
No. The fees of value engineering is not percentage of saving. It used to be done in the US, and there were so many claims about this. Value engineering is just like any other consultation. You send me the project, I give him, this is my fee, and agreed, khalas. But it is not a percentage of the savings. Some people might say, you value engineer exaggerated the savings, so your fee is going to be more. So these things happen. So it used to be done as a percentage of the saving. People think it is incentive. No, it is not incentive. It's actually, it is going to open doors for claims. And how do you know the saving? You actually know the saving after you finish the design. Who can wait until the end of the design to receive his fees? So value engineering is just another consultation, like a scheduling, cost estimating, project improvement. It is done by a group of people per fee that determined ahead of time, and then it's gotten after the report, okay? But if you do it as a percentage of the saving, it is very dangerous. There are so many claims happened just because of that.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much.
أبو ريان شكرا على وقتك الثمين، وإن شاء الله نشوفك في القريب العاجل
إن شاء الله. إن شاء
وفي
الله.
تريننج سيشن مثل العادة، ونشكرك مرة ثانية.
Allah يسلمك يعطيك العافية. Just for information, all of you guys who can hear me, look, if Uthman doesn't send you the presentation within a day or two, go ahead and shoot him. So I'll go, before I finish within the next 10 minutes, I'm going to send him the presentation and my book and the magazines. It's up to him how to send it to you. And if you have any question, you are welcome to ask. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you for
Thank
all.
you.
Thank you for all the attendees, and hope to catch you all in the next help talk. Good night.
Inshallah. Remind me about your event so I could attend also.
For sure. You are most welcome.
Okay. Thank you
Good
very
night.
much.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.